Hey everyone, and welcome to the return of the race to 0R, and it's race number 21 at Silverstone. I'm the Taxter as always, and you know who loves Silverstone. I mean, if you've been following race to 0R, you should know who likes Silverstone, and it is my co-commentator Sri Watson.
Hello Sathak, and who does not love Temple of Speed, to be honest. My hands are really itching to go on track today, but gotta sit in commentary box for this one out.
Yep, and quick correction, Temple of Speed will be Monza, but some might say Silverstone is the Temple of Speed.
Some do refer to Silverstone as the Temple of Speed.
Something
it's quite the conversation and the battle. Some people do argue that Silverstone is called the Temple of Speed and not Monza, but I guess in modern times we do refer to Monza as the Temple of Speed.
Regardless, we've got 14 drivers out, 12 to 14 drivers out. Many of the drivers from the Boar Racing League, which we are associated with. And I can't wait. I was trying to push them towards letting me mess around with the weather settings and whatnot, but we keep it dynamic out here at the race to 0R. But then again, we do enjoy a bit of rain every now and then, don't we, Shrivi?
Absolutely, we did have some fun last season. I'm guessing when it's gonna rain and when it's not gonna rain, and people started calling me the weather guard, and they were thinking that I'm changing with the settings and putting rain on their faces. But that never really did happen, people. I can vouch for that.
Great fun. Last season was 20 races, brilliant time, and we're all set for another 20 or maybe 22 this time around. First race today, Silverstone. For those of you who are tuning in new, first off, we'll have shock qualifying, 18 minutes of shock qualifying. Each driver gets to set a time, and the best time starts on pole and thereafter. And the race itself will be 25% of the total race distance, so it'll be a handful of laps. Super casual race series, so if you are an F1 sim racer yourself, you might as well join in on Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays is when we'll be doing it. We've started and we will continue, and probably a bit of feature events along the way. Probably 100% race distance too. But then again, it's Silverstone today. Let's stick to it. We got two drivers coming out, and it's not so Masoon, as well as Sai Saket, a new driver. Sai Saket, I wonder how he'll do today.
Yep, 15 people on the grid right of now, possibly more to join throughout the way of this qualifying. And Nancy had already mentioned, we have a couple of new people over here, apart from the BRL boys. We have UT, who's not UK to be mistaken. UT is a different person, and we have Sai Saket, both of them making their race to 0R debut. And I guess probably a lot others are also making their debut today.
No, surprisingly not, SV.
Guess who all are making their debut today out of these 15?
Baby Shumi is another driver who's associated in BRL, but for the first time here at race to 0R. And if you remember, SV, we've got Ashrock back. We remember Ashrock did compete in a couple of races last season around, so it's great to see him back out on track.
Yes, and he was pretty competitive as well. I remember him running in podium positions and the top 5 a lot of times when he was competing.
Yep. And he seems to have invalidated his lap, but our lap doesn't quite matter. The drivers will slowly start setting to lap times, and let's go over livery. And Vex was pretty vocal and said, you know, watch out for mine. So we might as well jump right to him. He hasn't even come out yet, so hopefully we'll get to see something different this time around.
Meanwhile, Vex on his outlap. How do you figure he's adjusting to his wheels, Sathak?
In BRL, the Boar Racing League, for those of you who don't know, he's been quite slow. He's tried this. He's decided to go completely left field, switch off all his assists, and shift from controller to wheel at the same time. So yeah, I think he expects progress, but he's mindful about the fact that it's going to be slow. It'll be interesting to see how he does today, though. Here.
Definitely, for sure. And we already had Sai Saket for a while out of the track in the main straight, and he's making his comeback onto the track.
He's lost his front wing, however. A bit of UK, a bit of UK vibes right here already in the race 0R.
Yep. talking about UK himself is on us outlap.
Okay.
Let's have a bet. How many times are we gonna see UK without a front wing this season?
In races 0R, let's hope not too many. Maybe he can keep it in one piece, but I see a bunch of other cars coming out on impressive liveries. And as you can see, Foksai Saket doesn't have a front wing. Surprising he's not gone into the pits yet. But let's jump straight to UK as we was mentioning. He's got his front wing intact, SV, so let's hope he never breaks his front wing. How about that? That's my prediction. He's never going to break his front wing this time around.
All I would say is front wing intact for now.
Yeah. A little
but
jab.
Let's have a look at Not So Masoom. He has already set a brilliant time of 1:25.612 is the time to beat for the others now. Not So Masoom currently on provisional pole.
If anyone can come close to beating that lap, it's the man who's on his out lap, General Pepe. He remains to be the only driver to have won every race he took part in race to 0R. He did take part in about, say, 2 or 3 races. And yeah, let's see if today's the day that record gets beaten. Although a small one, matters so much for us.
Yes, goes blitz past the newly christened Hamilton Straight, Sarthak. I'm so happy I get to call the Hamilton Straight the Hamilton Straight before the real F1 commentators could.
Exactly, right? Good eye there, Srivatsan.
I mean, do you think that this might be the first time ever on any sort of live stream possible, sometime has called it the Hamilton Straight?
Possibly, unless there has been a league race somewhere in the world which has been live streamed and the commentator called out there. But at least, according to me at least, and yeah, I'm at a loss of words because that caught me off guard. I had completely forgotten about the Hamilton Straight.
Past Baggett's and Beckett's flat out.
Yep. I'm curious to see Vex's livery still SV. And yep, there he is. It's a colorful rainbow one. He's known to bring out a bit of color more often than not in the race to 0R. But by far till date, if there's anyone's livery we enjoyed the most, it's definitely Vex's second iteration, if I'm not wrong. And that was a close one with one of the drivers in the pit lane. Vex will be coming out soon enough. Drivers coming out on softs and mediums. Who do you think will be on pole, Srivatsan?
My bet says it on General Pepe or Not So Masoom. Probably KDB can get into the mix.
He's right up there. He's on a fast lap himself. Let's stay on board, KDB.
Yep.
Bit of a lock up there, front left. I wonder how Baby Shumi will do this time around as well, because, you know, although some of the drivers are the same ones as in Boa Racing League, here it's a different kind of scenario where they're a little more laid back. We do see him 12 seconds off of Not So Masoom's pace and time, but could he possibly be in the top 10?
It is possible. We can't write him off like that. It is quite possible that he might end up qualifying in the top 10. Might be a long shot though, I'm not sure, but let's see how he performs.
Yep. Jumping straight to Avi, one of the drivers who was excited for the return of race 0R. He seems to be going into the pits. Let's say on board Hyrox 24. He's using the car number 69. That's UK's car number usually. I'm surprised Hyrox 24 decided to steal that one.
UK is not going to be happy about that for sure.
Yeah.
Interesting fact, Sarthak. We know that the Silverstone track has 3 states and the 3 of them are named as such. The first one we have Hamilton Straight, and then we have something called the Hangar Straight.
Oh.
And then we have a 3rd state called the Wellington Straight. The Wellington Straight is in S2, which Hyrox just came past by. And we'll have the Hangar Straight just before Stowe.
Brilliant stuff. SV is clearly the man to be in the commentator's box. Makes me look like a klutz, so to speak. But Hyrox 24 looks like.
Disagrees.
Sorry?
Rustiness disagrees though.
Oh, well, he's not on track, so it's okay if he disagrees or agrees. It doesn't quite matter to us, does it now? But then again, 9 minutes left to shock qualifying. 15 drivers out on track, more than we expected this morning. And out of the 15 drivers, 7 drivers still haven't set a lap time.
How many times do we see this in Race to Zero that a lot of people do not set their lap times until it's too late?
Yeah. We've seen instances where drivers are caught off guard and lucked out, in fact, in their attempt to get that one perfect lap. They end up not setting a time at all, and then they end up starting at the back of the pack. That's unfortunate. Let's hope there are not any drivers here tonight in such a situation, but they've got 8 minutes left, so looking forward to the other drivers setting times. We do see UT putting his first time in, 2 minutes 2 seconds, just over 2.5 seconds off of Not So Masoom.
Talking about setting late laps takes me back to how Vix356 set his lap in Russia last season. Do you remember that, Sarthak?
Yep, I do.
How he crossed the line just in the nick of time to set his last hot lap?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Glorious moments. Hopefully he can pull off something tonight as well. He's running the same livery as last season, SV. The brilliant camo livery with the Indian flag.
Interesting livery though, that's for sure.
Your old teammate from the Boar Racing League is right up there, SV today. Sicknig, up in P2.
I'll tell you what. If there are 2 people in the league who love Silverstone the most, it's gotta be me and Sicknig.
Okay.
And it goes with the fact that we both are really fast on this track. And
it
proves he has a better time than General Pepe. Can you believe that? Can you believe Sicknig has turned out today, put in a faster lap than General Pepe?
Brilliant stuff. Let's hope that lap sticks around until the very end. It'd be brilliant to see Sicknig starting on the front row alongside the likes of KDB, General Pepe and Not So Masoom. Can't wait for it, but Pepe is on a fast lap himself.
Possibly, he might drop down, but I'm still really impressed by the fact that Sicknig came out and put a 126.2 and stayed ahead of General Pepe even if it's for a moment. He's diving back into the pits. Oh my goodness. He'll be glad that the pit assist was off.
Yeah. Oh. But on board, General Pepe is going through Sector 2. He's invalidated his lap already. 6 minutes left. So perhaps Sicknig stays there on the front row for now.
Would be interesting to see if Sicknig's using his wheel or is back to back on his controller doing some nonsense, but yep.
I'm pretty sure.
One fast time.
I'm pretty sure Sicknig's on the wheel. I'm pretty sure everyone's on the wheel. I think this Race to Zero Hour as a whole is a brilliant place to experiment a bit on new things with us. If you prefer to have assists off yourself, then go ahead. Like, this is perfect. And Vex just set in a lap time which was right up there, faster than Sicknig's. UK, he's up there as well.
Yep, UK is the second driver after Not So Masoom to break into the 125s today. But still quite fast, 7 tenths off Not So Masoom.
5 minutes left, so we can expect for some last minute real quick laps, so to speak, because I see only Kapi hasn't set a lap time. I'm pretty sure he'll be edging to set a brilliant one. He's not been having the greatest of runs in Boar Racing League, having been pushed down to reserve, but possibly Race to Zero Hour is his place to shine for now.
Definitely. UK has also had his livery change for this season.
A tad bit, perhaps a bit of red aesthetics being kicked into that.
Yep, I'm glad he moved off from the gold though.
Yeah. Speaking of livery, let's jump to Avi, who's again into the pits. Now, he's been going into the pits every time I switch to him, and he's running a pink and green livery SV, rather different one.
Probably a Racing Point fan. I guess he's playing hide and seek with you. He does not want to be on stream,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, perhaps. Gouts, we never even spoke about our man Gouts, and he's out on track in an all black livery. Pretty much the whole car is covered in just black.
I feel like that's his way of saying that I'm not gonna keep any sort of red on this car.
Okay, I know what you're hinting at.
You're probably happy that he does not have any sort of red, because we all know what happens when Gouts drives with some red on his car.
Yeah, of course. He lost out on that Ferrari drive last season around at the Boer Racing League. Funnily enough, in Bahrain, which we planned as the season opener of Race 0R, but then we switched to Silverstone. And racing action is what we'll see in just 3 minutes. Because short qualifying is about to end, and Gouts on a fast lap which has been invalidated will be starting another one, I hope. He's currently running, he's at P8, and he'll be looking forward to starting somewhere in P5 at least.
Definitely, and if any of you do follow the Boer Racing League, you would have seen me do a spin in the Gouts corner, owning the Gouts corner for what it is. 2 weeks back in the BRL in the Bahrain GP.
Yeah.
What a race that was.
Yep. And Gouts dives into the pits. Still 3 drivers left to set in times, and it's Big 356 only Kapi and Hyrox 24. Meanwhile, Not So Masoom's time still the best out there. KDB came close but not close enough, and he's sitting in the pits.
He might not have time for another hot lap if he does not come out of the pits ASAP right now, KDB. But a brilliant job. He's only 1/10 off Not So Masoom.
Yeah, and Not So Masoom seems to be enjoying his time on the top of the table, because he's just trying to heat up his tires, I presume, on his out lap. But I just wonder if he knows he's on stream.
Nothing wrong with heating up your tires doing an out lap. It's quite normal. But with the boys in BRL, they're gonna probably refer to this as something toxic, and they're gonna be like, he's just showing off. But
anyway, KDB closest to Not So Masoom. General Pepe, surprising enough, still in P6. I just wonder if he'll go up soon enough. He's on his out lap just like Not So Masoom, and I wonder which one of these two will be on top. And perhaps KDB will come up with a last second right hook and grab the pole from the driver. 1 minute left to short qualifying, and I just wonder who's going to be on top.
I feel like there's a really fast lap incoming from General Pepe. What do you think, Sarthak? I think he's going to go for pole.
He is going for pole, that's sure, but will he get it?
A bit of a lock-up over there, and going on to this left turn, another lock-up for General Pepe. Things are not looking so good. And goes into the Wellington straight, General Pepe.
He seems to have invalidated his lap of sorts. The full track map seems to be lighting up red, at least partly.
There goes the commentator's jinx once more. I had nothing to do with that, by the way. Signing off from General Pepe's point of view. Look at Avi. Look at Avi. Avi can be caught on stream right now, and look at his livery, Sarthak. I guess he is also like, this is sort of a gimmick, and he's referring to the new Aston Martin colors, probably.
Yeah.
British Racing Green on a British track. How's that?
Perhaps. And only Kapi lucked out, like I mentioned earlier on. He will not set a lap time. KDB, time's up. He will start P2. For now, Not So Masoom's on provisional pole, but I just wonder if that lap from General Pepe will beat Not So Masoom's. But staying on board across the line, General Pepe comes, and he will not beat Not So Masoom, which means he's starting P7. Not So Masoom will take pole position in the Race 0R, race number 21. Unless Wex pulls off Something incredible. Staying on board, Mr. Wex, we've got UT still out on track trying to sell lap time as well. Got Size Arcade, Baby Shumi and Vix356. And as I said that UT is done, he'll be starting P9 for the first time in Race to 0R. But I just wonder if Wex, he is in Sector 3, should be exiting the penultimate corner.
And off the rail chicane and going into the last corner. Where will this put Vex? And the game decides not to show me that, but he'll stay in fifth.
Yep, not so much. Will start in pole. Brilliant stuff. And not the first time around for him here in Race 0R. And he's got KDB on the front row. UK managed to pull off some incredible time, putting him on the second row alongside Avi. And Mr. Wex right behind alongside Sicknig. General Pepe, Gouts, UT, Vix356, Ashrock, Sai, Saket, Baby Shumi, Only Copy and Hyrox24 finish up the grid. Only Copy and Hyrox24, two good friends, didn't manage to put in a lap time at all.
Don't know what happened over there, but you know from the previous seasons, RP boys, that if they are up to something, they're probably in there with a plan. Probably they plan to start from the last.
Yeah, perhaps perhaps they are giving themselves a challenge tonight. And that's a great challenge, to be honest. Chopping through the field is not something you can do really easily. And SV, my oh my oh my.
I said on stream live, this was not doing of any sort. I did not call for this. I did not change any settings. The game decided for it to rain, and oh boy, are we in for a treat right now.
Also, earlier on, Ameya, who's Gambler, made quite a nifty prediction saying that General Pepe will be P1, Masum in P2 and KDB in P3. You came close, my friend, but General Pepe is not P1, he's P7. So clearly, possibly you can get P1 next race around. That's Gambler, who's also part of Race to 0R. We'll see him on Thursday, but we got a wet race all set for Silverstone. And we should begin the formation lap. Yep.
All of the cars starting on inters, I believe. And we have Not So Masum leading the pack. And all the boys following him up.
Yeah. And for those of you who might be confused, Gouts and Vix356 disqualified. That tends to happen when two cars collide with each other during the formation lap, so nothing to worry about. But it does seem like a possible full wet race. They are out on intermediates. But I just wonder if soon enough they'll be going into the pits for a change of tires.
It might be for wets if it keeps pouring down like this, or in case if it dries up. It'll get really interesting in case if it dries up. They might be going for the slicks, but again, strategy might come into play. Whenever there's rain, there is always strategy coming into play.
Yeah.
And also, we never know how many of them really practice for the wet race, do we?
True that. And you know, they're coming into this series, the Race to 0R, thinking, you know, let's have a laid back race. I was almost going to say conversation, but it's as good as a laid back conversation. A laid back race, but then again, rain doesn't quite make it that much laid back. Throws things a bit topsy-turvy, if I might say.
For sure, sir, the kind of action we have seen in rain.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the very first race of Race to 0R, we did have Brazil, if I'm not wrong. Or did we start off with Abu Dhabi? I think the second race of Race to 0R was a wet race in Brazil, and
indeed it was.
Did we see some strategy over there.
Yep.
We had Vix356 going to take the long run and not pitting for the slick tires, and we had Nero X, who started off from behind after a very bad start, and he managed to win that race. But nevertheless, we do have the start of the Silverstone GP in Race to 0R coming up right about now.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Sicknig, your old teammate, seems to be lining up at the back of the grid. I wonder what's wrong there. But not so much so on pole position after quite some time. Race to 0R back after 2 months. And the front row are both race winners here. And 5 lights will go out right about now, and we're all set and ready to go. Lights out, and the cars aren't moving. And they do. Yep, seems like
and we already have a car right in the middle of the track, and I think we saw a car jump started, possibly.
Yep, yeah, and seemed like there was a bit of a glitch, so I'm pretty sure quite a few back markers kind of got caught off guard, but right up in front, UK taking the fight to KDB, trying to get an inside line on him and trying to make a move, to say the least. Avi is up in a still running P4. Pepe is up in a P5. Only Kapi from the back of the grid all the way up to P6. So I just wonder if Mr. Wex got caught off guard.
Possible. We did see one car is standing in the middle of the track over there, and what a gain for only Kapi over there, jumping from the last to P6. We have UK and KDB real close. Not so Masum is not so far. KDB is right on his tail.
Yep. And they go through sector 2. Top 5 is real close to together. General Pepe will close in on Avi soon enough. UT on his first race, running P6.
Not a bad start for him, is it? He's running P6. Let's see where he finishes the race. KDB and not for Masum really battling it out through Maggots and Beckett's.
And Hyrox24 has been caught off guard. He's spun and he's running P15 as of now. 10 seconds is the gap to the closest driver, and only Kapi seems to be going down the order fairly. No incident as of now. Sicknig chopping through the field. He's running P8 and on the gearbox of Ashrock.
Ashrock did manage to get a double overtake over Sicknig and only Kapi in that particular straight.
Seems like KDB could possibly make a move, Westway.
Possible. I did see them coming really too close in Maggots and Beckett, so it might be a factor that KDB might just be a little more faster than Not So Masum through Maggots and Beckett. If that happens one more time, we'll definitely see KDB right near the gearbox of Not So Masum.
And Gouts did go into the pits, and I just wonder why. He could have sustained some damage at the start of the race. The game did glitch.
Ashrock off track, and he probably had a spin over there. We had a couple of cars off track.
Fortunate for them. Clearly the conditions taking a toll on them. But right in front, Avi closing in on General Pepe. It's almost a train here between these three cars. UK is in that mix as well.
UK is still a 1 second off KDB. The fight for the lead is still stays with KDB and Not So Masum, separated by half a second over there. And General Pepe has quite jumped 2 positions, and he is into P4, going ahead of Avi. And the boys are battling it out. A 3-way battle through Maggots and Beckett started.
Yeah. And you can see General Pepe and UK going through the track. General Pepe should have what he needs. I think there was contact between the two drivers, but General Pepe could have tried something. But then again, back to what I was about to mention, they're trying to find grip wherever possible so that they can go through laps conveniently.
General Pepe right behind UK, and Not So Masum puts out another fastest lap, 139.788. Is the fastest lap in this race so far.
General Pepe is desperately trying to find a gap.
UK has dropped off and he has slowed down a little. General Pepe goes through UK to take that position, Sarthak.
Oh, seems like that's not happening on our screens, SV. Seems like might be a glitch on your side, because on our screens, General Pepe stays behind UK. He has racked up a time penalty, however, 3-second time penalty. First one here tonight.
And he'll try to and there was contact, and General Pepe has spun around.
Oh, unfortunate for him. He did try to take the inside line and make a move, but unfortunate for Pepe. He will lose quite a bit of positions. UT Sicknig goes ahead of him, and UK somehow manages to keep it on track, because remember, he did get in contact with UK. General Pepe did get in contact with UK, which prompted him to spin. UK did a good job there keeping it on track.
Probably turned in a little too early than what was required, possibly. Did not see General Pepe on the left side. Nevertheless, UK will carry on and will stay with his position of P3, but still 3 seconds off KDB. And KDB is getting real close to Not So Masum right about now.
And there's a car off track SV in sector 1, and I wonder if it's Hyrox 24. Sector 1 does go yellow. We should be able to see him soon enough. He is back on track and racing once again. So I'm guessing Hyrox 24 had another spin.
Unfortunate for sure for Hyrox 24. He is in the back of the pack running last. We have KDB and Not So Masum fighting it out in the front, and we have UK and Sicknick who have already ramped up 3-second time penalties to their names.
Going down the Orlo, only Kapi is running P8.
Avi, who's right behind UK.
The closest two competitors are the front runners. Sector 2 goes yellow, and it's another slow moving car. I'm guessing it's Hyrox 24 once again. He's not having the greatest of days. He just might retire early. It seems like he's flying now, so he's all set and ready to go, possibly trying to close that gap, but a huge gap nonetheless. 37 seconds.
Avi did try to overtake UK on the inside on Brooklands over there, but UK simply outbraked him, and Avi saw the lack of space over there and had to back out. But they're going through Maggots and Beckets, and UK stays on top of that battle.
Now, it's interesting to see how KDB's managed to keep it within half a second of Not So Masum throughout the 4 laps so far. We've got about 9 laps left, and I just wonder if he'll be able to close that gap. He does close it in parts of the track, but he's not able to pull off a move, and given the conditions, you can imagine the only driver so far who tried was General Pepe on UK, and we clearly saw what ended up happening to General Pepe there.
Probably on a dry track, some slipstream would have helped a good friend KDB along with DRS, but as you all know, DRS disabled during wet conditions on the track. Oops. Seems like KDB had a little slip up over there, but manages to keep the car on track without any issues. Avi gets slapped with another 3-second time penalty, or for the first time, I guess. UK, Avi, Arirox, and Mr. Vex all have 3-second time penalties as of now.
Yep, but meanwhile, up in front, KDB was real close to Not So Masum in the penultimate corners. No, sector 2, in fact. But right now, he's falling behind. 3-second time penalty for Baby Shumi. I wonder what went down there. Sector 2 goes yellow, and there is a slow moving car. It was Sicknick, yep. Wonder what happened there.
Only Kapi seems to have disconnected over there, and wonder what happened to Mr. Vex. He's running P14 as of now. Yep. And people are raking up time penalties left, right and center right about now.
An incredibly bad start is what happened to Mr. Vex, unfortunately, but he's trying to make the climb on the gearbox of Not So Masum, going through the penultimate corner. KDB, perhaps this is the lap you make a move. He did set the fastest lap. All sectors go purple.
Always great to see your track map blinking with fully purple, doesn't it, Sarthak? Meanwhile, right as we are talking about the fastest lap, General Pepe beats that fastest lap and sets his own time. Well, he's back in the game, isn't he?
Yeah. And sector 1 goes yellow yet again. And I wonder why it is. Oh, there is a slow moving car that making way for the front runners. It is Hyrox 24, I'm sure. Yes.
KDB will try to go for a move on the inside. Not So Masum does block the gate over there.
Yeah.
It was quite the right swipe over there if you saw this, Sarthak.
Yeah, kind of missed it. I almost thought Sicknick was involved in an incident, but he was in the pits. KDB went off track a bit there. 3-second time penalty for Vex after multiple warnings. He won't be too glad about that. Meanwhile, in the chat happens to be Big Man Joe, another consistent driver at Race to Zero. Unfortunately for him, he did try joining the lobby at the very last moment for the race itself and missed out. But he did
go a little off track over cops over there, but then There was one really aggressive right swipe from Not So Masum defending his position over Brooklands over there. I sense it coming, Satak. I sense a move from KDB coming in.
But you'd expect this, won't you, SB? Because KDB, Not So Masum, these drivers, the way they're consistently on top of things, on top of races as well, goes to show what consistent practice actually results in. You know, race 0 ended last time around in November, and we're back. And nothing's changed. Not So Masum, KDB is still up there. UK clearly improved drastically. He's up there consistently. No spins, kept it clean. Could possibly result in a podium by the end of this race. Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Brilliant stuff indeed. Practice does make a man perfect. And again, going through blueprints over there, KDB did seem to have a little bit of space over there, but Not So Masum does make a pretty good move to defend his position, and he's pulling away slightly. The gap has increased from 4 tenths to 6 tenths right about now. KDB does not go out of track on cops over there this time around.
Yeah.
Will try to get some slipstream or some sort of... He is really gaining on Not So Masum through maggots and beckets, that's for sure now.
And sector 2 has gone yellow, and it's another red car. Stranded. It's another spin for Hyrox 24. This is clearly not his night. Unfortunate for him. And that gap to Sai Saket is only going to be greater. And General Pepe.
Meanwhile, goes on the inside through Stowe on Avi and gets the move done. And moves into P4, trying to hunt down UK for that spin they had. Do you think he'll be able to catch up, Satak? UK does have a 3-second time penalty, so if General Pepe manages to sneak in within 3 seconds of UK, podium might be his.
Yeah, with 5 laps to go, that's highly likely for sure. And Baby Shumi might just have a battle in his hands, because Ashrock is closing in and has been closing in for a while now. And they've got bigger problems to worry about, because Vix 356 on the tail of both the drivers will peek down the inside, might just get shut down, and yes, he will. Unfortunate for Vix 356, could have left the space there, Baby Shumi, but Ashrock has DNF. He's retired. I wonder what went wrong there.
Baby Shumi did have contact with both the cars over there, Satak. He had contact on Vix on the outside, and moving ahead, he did kind of have contact with Ashrock over there, ending up in Ashrock's DNF. So 2 DNFs so far, Harry Rocks and Ashrock. Quite the battle over there, quite the battle. And quite the spins too.
And Vix 356, who'd I expect be a bit mad about losing position, might just be pleased about staying in the race, because the other competitor who was right alongside of him just a few seconds ago has retired. And the virtual safety car is out. UT
gets the drive-through penalty for speeding under VC.
So does Vex. So does Mr. Vex, and that's unfortunate for them. Sector 1 goes yellow, and it's another red car out on track. And it could have been not so... No, it's not so Masum. But then again, KDB leads this race, and we seem to have lost out on that overtake he pulled off.
No idea how he pulled off an overtake during BSC, and Mr. Vex has DNF as well.
And I
Quite
bet
the scenes happening through lap 9 over here, that's for sure. A lot of events has happened in this particular lap. There was a DSA coming out because of accidents between Baby Shumi, Vix and Ashrock. Ashrock DNF, and then we had Mr. Vex DNFing, and we also have KDB getting the jump on Not So Masum during a virtual safety car.
But the battle for position is at P6 SV, because Vix 356 still holding on, and on the tail of Baby Shumi. He's trying his best to pull off a move. It could possibly be an incredible move, knowing Vix 356. He's pulled off some pretty great stuff in the Brazil race last time around, and this time on the wheel it'll be mighty impressive, but can he get it done?
Both Vix 356 and Baby Shumi new to the wheel, adjusting their skills over there, fighting it out over here in race to 0 just to hone their skills.
Yeah, sector 1
Baby
goes...
Shumi seems to be
Sector 1 goes yellow again, and it is UT, our debutant, spun and off track, but he does manage to return back on track. And he will be racing, but he is running P11 currently.
The gap to KDB and Not So Masoom has gone over a second now, Sarthak.
Yeah, and I'm a bit mad with myself, considering I missed out on catching that overtake. KDB managed to pull off on Not So Masoom, because
KDB does have a 3-second time penalty now. So Not So Masoom, if he stays within 3 seconds of KDB, he might get the race win. But yep, KDB has a 3-second time penalty, and General Pepe puts in another fastest lap. He's going fastest lap after lap right about now, and he's really close to UK, Sarthak. Let's see if we can get it right on the second etap and pass UK.
Yeah, possibly both.
And in the same place. Nope, he does not try a move over there this time around, but he gets real close to UK over there. Coming out of that particular hairpin, let's see if he can get him before they cross cops.
Both drivers with penalties going down the order. Only Kapi lost position to Sickening. Gouts keeping it clean and running P8.
Good old Gouts. As clean as a whistle as always, and General Pepe is closer than ever onto UK's gearbox, going into maggots and beckets over there. But he can't go for a move, as there seems to be no space over there for him to get that move done successfully. But for sure, General Pepe is showing some serious pace over here.
He should try something here, and yes, he will. Around the outside he goes, and UK, will he fight it? He tries his best to, still within half a second of each other. And I just wonder if UK might take the fight to Pepe this time around. Tries to peek around the outside, breaks late, but doesn't quite get it. That gap only extended even more. Pepe runs away, and he is running in a podium position. Both drivers have penalties, so it'll be interesting to see what the race result might just turn out to be.
Well, revenge is sweet, as they would say. Pepe gets that move done after the initial collision he had with UK.
Big Man Joe mentioning in the chat about how mad KDB will be about that penalty. I'm guessing it's 3 seconds. I'm sure it is. And Not So Masoom has had a clean race so far. For the next 2 laps, if Not So Masoom can keep that up, the race win is his.
Everybody straight up from P3 to P7. All have ramped up time penalties. Not So Masoom gets a 3-second time penalty, changing the dynamics of this entire race. KDB will be smiling right now. He'll for sure have a grin on his face.
Definitely. Perhaps the commentator's curse, which is super unfortunate because I get called out for that several times. But yeah, KDB and Not So Masoom have penalties, and that perhaps levels the grid unless one of the drivers racks up even more. I'll tell you what will be ironic though, if KDB and Not So Masoom rack up a few more penalties and Pepe ends up winning this race.
That will be quite... For everybody watching, Sarthak just threw out the curse over there.
Yeah. No, I didn't. SV, no, I did. Okay, all right. Now, no driver's going to show up on Thursday at this rate, SV. So please, Saisake seems to have disconnected. He's running P11. Unfortunate for him. Not the greatest of debuts here at race 0R. Both the debutants running P11 and P12, but at least they're in the race. 3 drivers retired from the race already, and we are on our penultimate lap. Gouts running P8 on the tail of Vixie56, who's looking to fight for position with Baby Shumi. So it's a 3-way once again, and Vixie56 should be able to pull off something here. Oh, bold move from Gouts, and he's prompted Vixie56 to spin. That's incredible unfortunate.
The quad is thinking, I hope how that's gonna go out. Gouts has been speaking about how he's leaving space, but he's leaving too much of a space for people to overtake him. I guess he just wanted to fix that today, but
down the inside he tries.
And he has spun off. with some contact from Baby Shuri on the inside. Gauss would not be too happy with that.
Yeah, I think I think the winner who's really happy about all of this is definitely Siknik. He just got 2 positions in a matter of couple of corners.
Baby Shuri sure seems to be part of some bumper car race in this race so far. And he slides off right. I guess they want Siknik to go into P6. That's what they wanted, I guess.
Yeah, but seems like Baby Shumi has an incident. Yeah, I think he did spin because he lost out on positions and he has chosen to voluntarily retire from this race. KDB, who's running in the front of the pack, I just wonder if he is gonna be the race winner here tonight.
So far so good, Sarthak. If this keeps up for another half a lap, you will see KDB crossing the finishing line first and will even keep the place.
Incredible fight from the front of the pack all the way to the back markers. Unfortunate for the 4 drivers who decided to retire from the race. But then again, a brilliant return for race 0.
I didn't decide. The decision was made for Ashrock, but still.
Unfortunate for him. Drivers do get caught off guard more often than not in races 0R, and that's why practice will always make you better, folks. KDB in the race lead, fought for position brilliantly. Almost seemed like he was gonna miss out on the race win because of penalties, but through the final corner on the top step of the podium, KDB race winner at the race to 0R once again, and Not So Masoom on the podium, and so does General Pepe get himself on the podium. And for the first time, General Pepe does not win a race at the race to 0R.
That itself will go down as a stats. I feel this is the first time General Pepe has participated in any race in BRL/race to 0R that he has not won, and he has come out P3 today. But kudos to KDB for keeping up with Not So Masoom and taking the lead and maintaining it over there and coming across the finishing line. Yep. We have UK finishing an impressive 4th. I guess he'll be happy with that. We have Avi on P5, Siknik with an impressive P6 as well. He's yet to complete and cross the finish line, but let's see if time penalties do play a huge role between where Siknik and Gauts are going to finish. This race is still not yet over, people. We have Siknik and Gauts and BRL Vix 356 still on the battle for P6.
Yeah, but given their gaps, I'm guessing they're going to finish in that order unless penalties, one of them have racked up penalties more than the other, especially Siknik. But back to...
He crosses the finish line for P6. Gauts yet to cross the finish line. Will not get a jump on Siknik, so Siknik will retain P6.
And back to the front runners. I mean, KDB did an exceptional job, but Not So Masoom qualifying on pole right off the gate, and also holding on right there in front, taking it wheel to wheel with KDB. Incredible stuff. And you'd expect that, right? Real quick guys over at IRC.
Driver of the day. Did you see who the driver of the day was? Sarthak?
Yeah, Siknik, your old pal.
Yup. Blazing past through the field is what Siknik did, and in the penultimate lap it did look like people just wanted to give way for the king. Yeah. As Siknik was approaching through them.
A bit of exaggeration there, SV, to say the least, but a brilliant podium for the first race of the second season of Race 0R. I for one can say race number 21 was enjoyable, and I hope the 6 of y'all who stayed till the very end enjoyed it just as much. And thank you very much for coming by. We'll see you at race number 22, which you'll find out soon enough where we'll be headed in terms of track. But a brilliant race nonetheless. I'll see you again on Thursday.
That's it from us, people. SV and Sarthak signing off.